It's that time, everybody. Wonderkid to superstar, and today we have got a worldie for you. A central midfielder who can play attacking midfield that most people ignore because he's so young when you first start your save, but if you give him a chance to develop, he can pretty easily and without much development become one of the best midfielders in world football. That's right, we've got a gem for you today, and as always, we have looked for a player that you might not have heard of, who you can get for a decent price and who has bags of potential. This Wonderkid is awesome. I'm sure you're going to love him, even if you heard of his name. Maybe you haven't given him the chance to properly develop in your save, because if you did, I imagine you'd sign him every single time. Before we get into it though, if you do enjoy the video, then smash that like button for us, guys. That was a real big smash there. I really swung for that. So go on, go down, hit that like button for us. At this stage of Football Manager, obviously there's less people watching, which is natural, so the more of you that we can get involved in hitting that like button, the better the video will do, and we really appreciate that support. Subscribe if you haven't already, and without further ado, let's get into checking out this player. And to do so, we need to head over to Germany. Even though there are some gems in the lower divisions of Germany, we're actually going to the top division, and then we're going to look for Hoffenheim. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying I do not have the German divisions loaded in full detail or anything like that. I've just got a database size set to large with about 11,000 players in, and this player is in this game, so it goes to show you don't need a huge database to have this player in. He should be in most of your saves. Go to all players at Hoffenheim, filter by age, and you will find a 17-year-old by the name of Tom Bischoff, who might look very impressive in some aspects and weak in others. Don't worry, we're going to show you how to turn him into an absolute worldie of a central midfielder. Speaking of central midfielder, let's talk about his positions. He can play in the middle of the park, but offers more in the attacking phase than he does the defensive phase, definitely, and he can play further forward as a number 10. Now, because of his age and the fact that Sports Interactive aren't 100% sure exactly how he's going to look in the future, he actually has some variable attributes, so when you start your save, Tom Bischoff might look completely different. Now, he's only just turned 17 here, and I don't know exactly how it works, because I did have a save where on the first day of the save, he was 16. I imagine it depends on which nation you start your save in, but you could go ahead and approach to sign him without actually having to pay anything towards Hoffenheim in terms of a transfer fee. So check it out in your save when you first start. If he's 17, you'll have to pay up front for him. If he's 16, you'll be able to get him on an approach to sign deal. Either way though, maximum of 7 million, lower value of 230k. Let's say we met in the middle and paid £3 million for this guy. That would still be, in my opinion, an absolute bargain, because he has lots of potential. 140 to 170 is the potential range. On the highest end of that range, you are going to get a world-class midfielder. And the good thing about Tom Bischoff here at Hoffenheim is that his attributes are nicely distributed, so that even if he didn't have huge development, he would still be a very good player, because already with no growth at all, he would be a very good passer at Bundesliga level with 14 passing, 12 vision and 16 technique, good off the ball work, teamwork, first touch, finishing and dribbling at levels where, realistically, if they never improved, you still wouldn't be too disappointed in that. So it goes to show this guy is ready to play football. He's only a future prospect at Hoffenheim, and if he doesn't get the chance to develop between the ages of 17 to 20, you might see a weaker version of him in your save. But if you give him the chance to play, you will see some amazing growth for Bischoff. So let's move him over to our Real Madrid team now. Here he is in our side, where we're going to be using him as a central midfielder, playing in that Mazzala role on the attack duty. We've brought him over using the in-game editor. We've got him being mentored by the likes of Modric, Benzema and Nacho, three very good personalities to rub off onto Bischoff, whose personality here is fairly determined, which isn't too bad already, so that's a great start. In terms of his training and his development, obviously we're just focusing in on the role as we do in all of these Wonderkid to Superstar videos. For you, the additional focus is going to depend on the kind of Tom Bischoff that you have in your save. Here, he already has amazing decision making, so training him in the final third of the game, it might be a waste of time. Instead, maybe we could go for some attacking movement, possibly to improve his anticipation, or maybe even his quickness, because his physical attributes are clearly the weakest part of his game. We should take a look at them. In this version of Tom Bischoff, and I think across most versions, his physical attributes aren't the best. He's not the best presence just yet, but at 17, he's going to have huge developments in those areas in the next couple of years. Between 17 and 19, with some game time, with some training, we should see those physicals develop a hell of a lot. And with that being said, we've spoke about how he looks now. Let's go and take a look at how he looks on the worst possible scenario. If you had him at 140 potential ability, how good could Tom Bischoff be? And here we go. After 2 years, Tom Bischoff is just about to hit that lowest potential ability. So this version of Tom Bischoff isn't even at his worst possible potential yet. So bear that in mind. This is like the worst possible case scenario, and he still looks like he's developed a hell of a lot. He's valued at around 30 million. He's 19 years of age. This is only a couple of years of growth, and as a 19-year-old, old, he is already looking like an unreal talent. Physicals are starting to develop now, starting to balance themselves out a little bit, as we said they would. He's got a little bit taller too, and his mental attributes have really started to come along. His determination's gone up, his decision making, composure, anticipation have all improved. He's got great passing and vision and technique, as he had earlier, but it's got even better now. A brilliant dribbler, great finisher, great first touch. Actually, if you wanted to use him as a shadow striker here, I feel like he would do a very good job. He's developed really well in terms of his attributes, but can he perform for a team like Real Madrid straight away, obviously surrounded by great players? The answer was yes. I mean, first season he gets 20 assists and 3 goals from that central midfield position. Obviously, he is giving the ball to the likes of Benzema, Vinicius. They're going to be much better at scoring than maybe your Tranmere side or whoever you're managing, but either way, that is a great performance from only a 17-year-old. Then at the age of 18, he gets 10 goals, 16 assists and a 7.23 average match rating, improving year on year, but this is only the start for Tom Bischoff. You will also notice in this simulation, he'll never get a Germany appearance. If you don't know, real life players can't play for the German national team without any kind of mods in Football Manager because of licensing issues. Sometimes you will see someone like Tom Bischoff here. If he plays long enough in Spain, he might get a Spanish cap, but bear that in mind, he won't get any Germany caps in this simulation. With that being said, you've seen him on the worst case scenario. Let's see how good he can look in the prime of his career. And here we are in 2033. We are 10 years on from where we originally started. Tom Bischoff has been in the prime of his career for the last few years. He's ranked as a 4.5-star player in this Real Madrid team, and he is an unbelievable talent. If you ever doubted the players that we picked for these videos, if you ever look at them at the start and think maybe he's not that good, well, proving you wrong here. Look how good Tom Bischoff has turned out to be. Whilst he's taking those attributes, I will let you know, I do have my own channel linked in the description down below. Once we finish with this video, please go ahead and check the channel out. We've got some YouTube shorts about Wonderkids you might not have heard of, and also some Football Manager rebuilds, so any support over there will be massively, massively appreciated. But Tom Bischoff, 28 years of age, valued at £100 million now. His physical attributes, they've balanced themselves. They were never going to be elite based on how they started, but they've got to the point now where you look at them and you don't really consider them a weakness. But the mentals and the technicals are unreal with Tom Bischoff here. If we're talking about goal creativity, he's got 18 passing, 19 vision and 17 technique, 18 off the ball work, 16 teamwork. Can he finish shots? Well, yes, he's got 15 finishing, 13 long shots. He can dribble past people with 16 dribbling and 18 first touch, decision making, composure and anticipation of elite levels here. He's got the flair as well, and you can see based on this attribute analysis graph here just how balanced Tom Bischoff is. So obviously he looks amazing in his prime and is definitely worth that £2-3 million, even £7 million at the max that you might have to pay for him. And you can see he's been backing it up in the in-game engine too. 8 goals and 25 assists in the 3rd season. Then after that, you can see the numbers yourself. He gets better and better. His best season so far was here with 21 goals and 21 assists in 38 league appearances, 7.59 average match rating. He's done a similar thing this season, and he's going to keep that up for his whole career. So let's go check him out right at the end of it. And here he is as a 34-year-old, a legend of football, a world-class midfielder, still has some insane attributes even at the age of 34, and in the in-game engine, he's aged like a fine wine really. Last season, he got 29 assists and 22 goals, an unreal year with a 7.66 average match rating. Not to spoil it, but he doesn't end up winning the Ballon d'Or in this world, but I must say I'm surprised he didn't after that year in 2037. A brilliant performance there at the age of 33. But Tom Bischoff, what a player, a big, big talent in German football, getting opportunities in real life too now for Hoffenheim, and who knows how far he's going to go. But in the FM world, he is definitely worth a pickup, and I'm sure next year in FM24, he'll be a wonderkid too. Let me know what you thought of him in the comments below. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, and goodbye.